So warm-up is on the board. All right. Boy, this brings back some awful memories, doesn't it? Ah, we'll be together again soon in person. But it is good that we have this in the meantime. And you can't beat that commute. I was working on the warm-up. Waiting on two more people. Who's missing? If your C partner isn't here, can you just let me know who's missing? I had a hard time just recalling from who should be. I know Ryan has a meeting or he has an appointment. Just to me, it doesn't have to be to everyone. So Brandon, not here. Hopefully I'll make it his way over.
Right, my C partners, I don't have one, but I was just checking. The reason I was late was because of the sign-in, so I would request no tardy for being a couple seconds late on Zoom.
I got you.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much. I
explaining.
appreciate it. You just lose someone? Okay, so I'm going to open up breakout rooms. Please discuss in those breakout rooms what you did for this warm-up and how you got it and what you got, of course. Um, just so share, it doesn't have to be fast. So there's a 10-second timer when I close up the room. So if you don't see it, you'll be popped back into this main room. But here you go. Just discuss what you did for the warm-up and what answer you got. It's a throwback. Welcome back. So did you get an answer? Was that enough time? I forgot to tell you to come back, so I thought that maybe you were just sitting around. Okay, well, hopefully it was at least enough time to get an idea flowing. Would someone like to share with us how they did this? And I left my popsicle sticks at school, of course. Hey, Lily, you made it. Yay. Welcome, Lily. Good to see you here. Okay, I'll go over this. Don't worry, I got you. Did you set it equal to 0? Did you do this? X squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. You did that, right? Or maybe you didn't do that. Maybe that was in your head. But you factored it, didn't you? X minus 4 and x plus 3, I believe, is equal to 0. And then you made that number line. Does this summarize what you did? Is this going back? And on this number line, we're going to have -3 and 4. And then we test the regions. How many regions are there? There are, yep, 3 regions. So you just test numbers in each region. Like we put in into our function, we put in like a -5 or something. And I'll go back to inequality form. So let's just see if I plug in a 5, is that greater than 0? We have positive times a negative. Sorry, positive times a positive. Yeah, that's definitely positive. Plug in a number between -3 and 4, something like 0. We have a negative times positive, so those are all going to be negative. And then greater than 4, I think these all become positive once again. Oh, Brandon, you made it. Thank you. All right, the gang's all here. Sweet. So our solution, of course, is from -infinity to -3. Since it's equal to, we will include that as a bracket, union 4 to infinity. Does this match something like what you had or direction you were going? The only problem with this method works. The only problem is that it kind of sucks plugging all these points. So I'm going to be sharing with you a different way to do these inequalities today, both for quadratic and for higher degree polynomial. Mainly what we're going to do is, and I'll do it on this paper. I'm going to look at the function. One moment, let me reorganize my thoughts here. Y equals x squared minus x minus 12. And I'm going to graph that function. Quickest way to graph this, since it's factorable, we still have that x minus 4 and x plus 3. I'm just going to look at the x-intercepts. And do you see where this parabola is going to go? It's opening upwards. So it looks something like this. So now I think I could think about this inequality as when is a parabola above the x-axis? For which values of x is a parabola above the x-axis? So we can see like, oh, right here. It has us go up. Right here, it has us go up. Here too. All these values. We can see it visually what the answer is. So x is less than or equal to 3, x is greater than or equal to 4. So that's what we'll be doing today. Any questions about that? And oh, I forgot. I need to rearrange my math lecture. Give me just a second. It's been a while since I held a class on Zoom, thankfully. Forgot I could see you all and write at the same time. Anybody here watching class on their phone or iPad? Okay, on your laptop. Good. Okay, so to the packet.
Can I go run and grab my packet real quick?
Sure. I don't know if I want to fill in that box. Definition of a polynomial inequality. It's a polynomial that has an inequality. It seems like it's kind of self-explanatory. You're going to see one of these, or one of these, or one of these, or one of these, right? Instead of an equal sign. So let's do this. Consider this function, f of x is equal to x squared minus 7x plus 10. What values of x is f of x equal to 0? Well, we could do the same thing we just did. I'll go back to black, excuse me.
I've returned.
X equals x minus 2 and x minus 5. So we have x equals 2 and 5. So now I'm going to go to the parabola. In fact, I don't need the y-axis. I'm going to erase that if I can. Let's put a 2 here and a 5 here. Make a quick sketch of this parabola. Is this parabola opening upwards or downwards? Very definitely upwards. So we know it's going to look something like this. I don't care about my scale. I just care about where it's above or below for these inequalities. So for which values of x is f of x less than 0? Do you see where it is? Between that 2 and 5, right? That's where it's all under that x-axis. So from 2 to 5. And where is it greater than 0? We could see from negative infinity to 2 and from 5 to infinity. Any questions? Example 1, solve and graph the solution set on a real number line and give the polynomial inequality. Oh, I could read, I promise. Graph and solve the solution set on a real number line of the given polynomial inequality. First thing we need to see is a special number. 0, so we can use ZPP if necessary. So we have 2x squared plus x minus 15 is greater than 0. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and factor this. Does this factor? In my mind, I have the, are there two numbers that multiply to be negative 30 and add to 1? And yes, yeah, it's going to factor. 2x and x. So I know it's going to be negative, positive 6 and 1. So it looks like there's my positive 6. Here's my negative 1. Did I do this right? Is this? Oops, no, I need a 5 in there. I'm sorry, I need my positive 6 and negative 5. Yeah, that should do it.
So if there's a 2 in one of the things, you have to half the number.
There's a 2 in one of
Like,
you mean,
because you
this
put
one?
in 3 instead of 6. Is that because there's a 2x instead of an x?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, distributed property. Okay, so I'm going to now make my number line. I'm not going to do any test points, but I'm going to mark 2 specific points. Negative 3 and 5 halves. My eraser is failing me today. And we know that this parabola is facing or is opening upwards. So we have, oh, wait. We have this. And from there, I can answer my question or answer the question. So I'm going to put you in breakout rooms where you're going to finish A and B. And then when you're done, you're going to come right back here. One moment, please. You can get started on putting breakout rooms, but you're just doing A and B and then coming back. Got it? Okay. Open these rooms. I'm going to add the newbies in just a second. Lily, I got you. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. I figured you guys would be finished quickest. Bless you. I'll give everyone maybe 30 more seconds to work on it. There we go. Welcome back, folks. I'll go ahead and close everything up. How do I do this again? Oh, yeah. Welcome back. How'd it go in there? Was everything okay, or any questions? How do you like this graphing method? Baron's dealing with a upside down parabola, apparently. You don't like it? That's okay. You'll learn to love it. So for this first one, of course, we're looking for when the parabola is above the x-axis. We're looking for the x values. So we can see that that happens when x is from negative infinity to -3. Do we include -3? Nope. We're not. We don't care when it's equal to 0. We're wondering when it's greater than 0. So also when x is from 5/2, not included, up to infinity. For x squared minus x minus 20. But that one is greater than 0, and I feel like we're doing the same thing again and again, don't you? X minus 5, x plus 4 is greater than 0, so we have on our graph -4. Please make sure you're putting your numbers in numerical order. Negatives come before positives. Crazy people. I think we could even do this in our heads, and you can see the parabola in your mind's eye, can't you? And just see that this is going to be here or here. Just x is less than -4, or x is great. Oh, that's a y. X is greater than 5. So that would be written algebraically. Of course, it was asking, I think it was asking to graph it on a number line, which means it would want this. Which we could include here. I didn't include that. On the number line, like that. Any questions? Okay, well, there are 4 more for you to try. I will be calling on 4 people after your moments in the breakout room. So please come back when you're done with these. Same breakout room. Here you go. Alexa, give me a number from 1 to 14. Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 14. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 14. Hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 2. Sottomate. Sottomate. Just checking on you all. Is everything going okay?
Yeah, everything's good. We're Working on the problems right
Nice. Any questions about anything?
now. No, I'm good.
Okay, make sure you're talking to each other.
Bye.
Okay, see you soon.
Yeah.
Hi.
You're muted, Miss
I'm
Rowland.
muted. How's it going in here, everybody?
Good. On the first one, which is C,
Mhm.
how would we figure out how to put that into interval notation?
Did they give you one that is, let's see, were there real roots for this? Could this couldn't be factored, could it?
No,
Were when you solved it, were they imaginary or were they real?
they were real.
real.
Real. Okay. If you're not sure, and there are two numbers, one's plus, one's minus, right?
Yeah.
So just imagine which one's going to be on the minus side, which one's going to be on the plus side. So you go from negative infinity to the leftmost one, and then take a break and go from the other one.
Got it.
Good question. Yeah, that one's. Why did I put that in there? That's a weird trick. Okay. And any other questions?
And then for D, we only got one answer, so
Oh.
we weren't sure.
Interesting. Okay. If that's all that there is, that's all there is. Nothing. One real answer, I imagine what you're saying. Okay. Cool. When you're comfortable, come on back to the main one. I'll see you soon.
Hi, Mr. Lieber.
Hi.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy.
Everything going okay here?
Sure.
Any questions about anything?
No.
No. Brandon, I like your background. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, thank you, thank you. I've had it since the seventh grade. It's
That's that is
Mr. Lieberman, out of curiosity, if I were to join the main meeting with someone else's profile picture as my background, would that be acceptable or no?
with someone else's profile picture.
Yeah. So, for example, right?
Uh,
Like if
don't
I
put
joined with like this background,
Oh my god.
only Baron.
is that
Oh my
okay?
god.
Did you just put Emma's?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is me.
Yeah. Let's keep that. That's funny, but let's keep it just your own personal stuff. Unless you
Okay.
feel like switching us,
Thanks.
if you agreed to do something like that, then that's fine.
Do you want to swap?
I'll let you
What?
leave this.
Oh my god, let me see what yours looks like.
Okay, guys.
Oh, it's bad. It's rough.
Hello. Just
Hi.
checking on y'all. Everything going okay?
Yeah, we're a little bit confused on like how we would write the end answer for E, but we like got all the values where it crosses the x-axis.
Cool. And were you able to draw the polynomial that goes through that axis?
Yeah, it looks like that.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, once you have that, just figure out what's above, what's below, and that's where the answers come from.
But would it be like for the thing in between like -2 and 1, I see it's positive. How would we show that in the interval?
-2 to 1, just in a
Oh, okay, that's not okay.
But how do you know if like in between -2 and 1 it goes like up or if it goes down?
yeah, that has to do with our knowledge of polynomials, like the end behavior. Does it pass through? Does it touch? So all this has to balance together. So think about that and do the best you can and come on back when you feel like you've done all you can.
Okay,
I'll see
thank
y'all
you.
soon. Mia, you look so cozy in your hood there.
I know, it's so early.
I'll see you soon.
Negative infinity, -2.
Hey,
Hi.
did you all
Hi.
finish?
Yes.
As best you can, anyway. Okay. I'll give everyone else about 30 seconds to finish up. I just finished visiting all the breakout rooms. That's the one thing that's nice about Zoom, the ability to go into breakout rooms and just have some alone time with your colleague or classmates. What do you think? That's enough. Is that enough time for everyone? They should at least be close. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna call it. I'm pulling the plug. Breakout rooms. Okay, here comes another breakout room. Good. Closing all the rooms. Welcome back, folks. I'm closing all the rooms. We'll all be back together in just a moment. Hey. Okay, so I found some popsicle sticks. Not actual popsicle sticks, but check this out. There's 14 of you.
There's 12 of us.
Are there 12? 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, there's 12 of you. Thank you for helping me count.
Yeah, anytime.
There's 14 on the list. Okay, so
Like
Sam
Ryan's
is
absent
here
today.
and Ryan isn't here. Okay. Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 14.
1 and 12.
I'm going by my roster. The number is 3, which means we're going to Dylan for this one. Can you help us out with this, Dylan?
Yeah, I got, so to factor it, you have to you have to do negative b plus or minus, like that stuff.
I
So
imagine you put it in the standard form first.
oh yeah, that,
Okay, so can you factor it?
yeah,
Okay,
well, like, yeah, you can. So you do -2 plus or minus root like 20 over 8, and then that gives you um
and we say negative b, what is b?
-2.
Okay,
And
that
then
gives you what?
that gives you -1 plus or minus root 5 over 4.
Over 4, you said?
Hmm.
Good. Yeah, this didn't factor. This was kind of an ugly one. So what do you do with this?
Well, I used my calculator and like I found the values, and then I just like put it on a graph.
Okay, so you got 2 values. Was one positive and one negative?
Um, I don't, I
Or
didn't write it
negative?
down. That's
Let's,
all I have on my paper.
do we need to use a calculator for this? Yeah, Baron, you have an idea? What can we do with this?
I mean, I would have just written it like that.
But if we're trying to put numbers on a number line,
Oh, you could separate them out and you'd say 1/4 plus or minus root 5 over 4.
okay, so if we're separating them out, that seems like they're together. Emma, you have a suggestion?
Could you do -1 plus root 5 over 4 and then -1 minus root 5 over 4?
They are 2 different numbers, so yes, we could do that. And then we see which one goes on the left, everybody, from those two. without doing any serious calculations, the one that's minus is going to be on the left. So this is going to be -1 minus √5/4 and -1 plus √5/4. And of course, we're imagining that parabola going upwards through here. So we're looking at the values that are below, yeah, in between those two values of x. So if it makes sense to just have this not -1 minus √5/4 to -1 plus √5 all over 4. There we go. Any questions? Okay. Dylan, thank you for helping us get started on that tricky problem. And I appreciate that you used your calculator, but it actually wasn't necessary. Do you see that? It just, we know that one is left, one is right. Okay. Let's see what advice I get here. Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 14. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Brandon, can you help me with D, please?
Sure. So what you do is it's factorable. So you get 9x squared minus 3x minus 3x minus 1, and then you eventually get -3x plus 1 squared in parentheses is equal to
Wait,
0.
-3x plus 1?
Yes.
Like this?
Oh wait, sure. Sorry, it's -3x minus 1.
That's right. Where I start with a negative.
Sorry.
You're starting with a, oh, this should be +1. I'm sorry. Okay, outside. So you're saying -3x.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
-3x plus 1 squared is equal to 0.
So all of this is being squared like
Yeah.
this is, we'll say greater than 0. Okay.
So then you get x is equal to 1/3. So, and I'm kind of confused how to like draw the graph because since it's squared, that means it doesn't cross through 1/3. It only like touches and it curves away.
And it opens
It opens upwards.
upwards. So it does something like this. Okay.
Yeah. And I was asking for less than 0, so I was a little confused on that.
Yeah, this is asking when this parabola is less than 0.
Yeah.
So we could look at it and say, hey, when is it less than 0? Baron, you're drawing attention to something or saying
No, it's never.
never. Right? It's never below. That's why the answer for this is
No solution.
no solution. That was you factored it correctly, but it was a little bit non-standard, and instead I would expect to see something like 3x minus 1 squared is less than 0. Works out to be the same thing.
Okay.
But yeah, what you did is fine.
If it works out to be the same thing, why does it matter?
Oh, it doesn't matter. I couldn't mark it wrong. But you know, what Brandon did was he took the negative version, but when you square it, you get the same thing. So it works
Okay.
out. Okay, for E. Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 14. What? Oh, that's not helpful at all. It's 3 again. Dylan, you're back. It's like your dream came true.
So you just move everything over to the same side, and then factor to x squared minus 4 and x plus 1. And
X
then
squared
that
minus
gives
4
you
and
x
x plus 1, you
plus
said?
2, x minus 2, and x plus 1.
Did I write this correctly so far?
Mm-hmm.
X minus 2, x plus 2. Okay, and from there,
Then you get your values of -2, 2, and -1, and then you put it on the graph, and then you like know that you're and then since it's to the power of x is to the power of 3, you know your end behavior. So then you're just gonna like and then you know because everything's to the power of 1 that it's gonna cross. So then you're gonna like start from below and then cross like above to above -2, then curve back down, and then yeah.
this. And we started from below because,
Your end behavior is the same as like
perfect.
x.
Yeah, we know the end behavior. We know each one has a multiplicity of 1, so it just goes right through. And from here, you're able to find out that the answer is Dylan, we're able to put it together. Do you know the answer?
The answer?
Yeah. The question is, what values of x is this polynomial less than or equal to 0? So you graphed it, great.
Oh,
But just like here, we
negative
needed to have
infinity,
an actual
comma
solution, right?
2,
When this was
and then
above. This is above. So here,
yeah,
we look at this and just figure out when is this polynomial below, and we start at
yeah. Negative infinity, comma 2, and -1, comma -2.
so negative infinity comma -2, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, do we include -2?
Yeah.
How did you know that?
Because it crosses.
It crosses, but how do you know we include it instead of like putting a parenthesis there?
I don't know.
How do we know? Anybody who can give us some insight?
Sorry, could you repeat the question one time?
Yeah, how do we know if it's including -2 or not including -2?
Well, it's clearly not including -2 because when it's at -2, it's at 0, which is not less than 0.
Exactly. So we do include -2 or don't include -2?
Do not include -2.
Are we good with that? We don't include -2? Look what the question's asking. Take a look at this
It should
side.
be included, right?
What's that?
It should be included because it also asks for when x is equal to 0.
Yeah, it's less than or equal to 0, right? It's sneaky. So we have to include that -2 because it is equal to 0 there. And Dylan, can you finish up this problem for us, please? I got to -2 and then I got distracted. What happens after that?
And then union bracket -1, comma -2 bracket.
-2?
Oh, sorry, I meant +2.
And why are these brackets?
Because it's at 0 and that's included.
Because it's at 0, exactly. And we care about when it's equal to 0 for this problem. Yay! Any questions? Dylan, that's fantastic. Here we go. Let's see what this one says about this random number. Hey Siri, choose a number between 1 and 14. So it gave me 3 again, Dylan. I'm gonna call foul on this. So, hey Siri, give me an answer. But no, not answer. Stop. She's going crazy. Hey Siri, give me a number between 4 and 13. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ava.
Yeah, so I set it equal to 0, so I got x cubed plus 3x squared minus x minus 3. And then I factored by grouping, and then I got x squared minus 1 and x plus 3.
X squared minus 1. I imagine you factor the x squared minus 1.
Yeah, and then I got x plus 1, x minus 1, and x plus 3. So I got x is equal to plus or minus 1 and negative 3. And then I drew it on a number line. And then I had the same end behavior as E.
Okay.
But then for this one, the question's asking for greater than or equal to 0. So I said my interval notation was in brackets -3, -1, union bracket -1, comma infinity.
Any questions? I hope you're enjoying not finding test points in these intervals. It's really nice once that polynomial is in there, just is it above, is it below? You have your answer there. Any questions before we finish this up? I think this is our last problem of the, yeah, it's our last problem of the day, so I'm sorry. We're coming to an end. A flare is fired from the bottom of a gorge with an initial velocity of 144 feet per second. The distance s in feet above the bottom of the gorge after t seconds is that. At what time will the flare strike the ground? Okay, so it looks like we're in a big hole. On top of the bottom of the gorge after t seconds. I don't know. If it's striking the ground, we're going to set this equal to 0. So I'll go directly to this. I hope you don't mind if I just jump right into the second step. Please never divide by t. Instead, we need to use ZPP. So subtract 144 t from both sides.
Wait, why can't we divide by t?
You're possibly losing a value.
Oh.
Just like if you have t squared equals t. Do you see that by observation there are two solutions here? Either 1 or 0. When you divide by t, you just lose it. So you're losing solutions when you divide by a sort of variable solution. So we see t equals 0 and t equals 9. So I think it's going to hit the ground after 9 seconds. Yeah, this is really strange. So it looks like what's happening is that we're in some sort of gorge, right? Some big hole. This hole is 320 feet deep. We're firing this flare up and it's coming down. It got here after 9 seconds. So how do we figure out when it will be visible above the gorge? And what you're doing is you're imagining like someone's like, I don't know, looking this way. It's just when does it go above 320 feet? I'll give you some time to think about this one. This is a calculator problem.
Can we go to breakout rooms and discuss?
And that's exactly what I was going to ask you to do now. Someone's beeping there. There you go.
Lieberman is here, but where's
What's
Baron? I don't see him.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay. I thought you like just like left the meeting, but you tried to.
No. Mr. Lieberman, we are very confuzzled. at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know how to.
Well, the question is asking when it can be seen above the rim, and the height of the rim is at 320.
Yeah.
So if it tells us that the height is 144t minus 16t squared, the question becomes, what is this
What?
Greater than 320.
greater than 320?
So, then you just factor that, like,
Well, it's a calculated question, so I'm not sure if it will factor, but we solve this.
good point. Good point.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I haven't done this problem, so but
Mhm.
that's the direction. Does that help?
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, no problem.
God bless.
Hello. You got something? Cool. I'll close up the other rooms in just a minute. Absolutely. Okay. So I'm just going to go over this one. I hope they had some thoughtful discussions. But this comes down to when it asks for what time t the flare will be visible above the rim of the gorge, then what that's asking is when is the height going to be greater than 320 feet? Greater than or equal to, I'm not sure if there should be an equal sign. I'm just going to keep it at greater than. And of course, it tells us that S of t is 144t minus 16t squared. The question is, when is that greater than 320? So now we just have a parabola. Let's put it in regular notation. Do we want this parabola to be opening upwards or downwards? Now, honestly, it doesn't matter. No, just let's let algebra take us. Oh, am I not sharing my screen? Thank you. Sorry, folks. I forget after breakout rooms, the sharing permission stops. Just a second. Trying to organize my digital life here. Okay. But yeah, let's keep it in the spirit of the problem and keep this opening downwards, even though it could be either way. So we have negative 16t squared plus 144t minus 320 is greater than 0. And now we find the zeros. Does this factor? I don't know. I think I could divide everything by at least 4 and do that. I can make this negative 4t plus 36t, and then
Could
this
divide it all by 16.
Yeah, we could do even more and do 4 again. So negative t squared plus 9t minus 20 greater than or equal to greater than 0. Does this factor? When we factor, generally we don't want that leading coefficient to be negative, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by -1, ruining our upside down parabola. Oh, I forgot, when I multiply by a negative, we have to reverse that inequality, don't we? Don't forget that. Does it factor? I think it does. T minus 4, t minus 5 is less than 0. So having abstracted this information, I now have a parabola that's doing this. So apparently we have an answer to our question. The answer is the rocket is visible above the gorge between
4 and 5.
5 seconds, which makes perfect sense. Since it's going to hit the ground at 9 seconds, it's going to be up at the top at 4.5 seconds, isn't it? Due to symmetry. So at between 4 and 5 seconds, it would be visible. It would be visible. Four and 5 seconds. I don't know why I said this is a calculator problem. Seems like that it was not. We could do it with the calculator, but you shouldn't need to. Man, that's it. That's the whole chapter. Okay, looks like I have a question in the chat. Oh yeah, can I share the screen? I did that. Thank you for reminding me that it wasn't being shared. I'm gonna let you go unless you have questions you want to talk about. Have a great day, folks, and I'll see you hopefully in person on Wednesday.
God bless. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, bye.
Bye-bye.